Welcome to Under Two Capes News. I'm Jared.
And I'm Lad.
And we are in Lad's room this time.
Yes, we're in the studio this time.
Lad studio. So, interesting occurrence happened today in terms of comic book news. Lad, do you want to reveal to the viewers what happened?
Yeah, so I think I'll just go ahead and
you didn't hit
show what's the latest from
Black
Widow.
Apparently ScarJo is suing Disney.
Yes. So Scarlette Johansson is actually suing Disney after everything that's happening with her movies. So we'll just give a quick background details is, Black Widow released finally after being delayed a year and a half due to COVID. They released her movie. It came out on theaters and on Disney Plus on the same day, $30 Disney Plus payment in addition to the monthly subscription. And that first weekend we heard the news, it seemed really good. We got 60 million from Disney Plus, 80 million in the US and 80 million international for a 220 million total. Mm-hmm. Seems really good for like an opening weekend.
For an opening weekend for a Marvel movie, that is really good.
Yeah, and in COVID, it sounded people were like, all right, Marvel's going to save the box office.
Marvel's back.
Marvel's back. The box office is being saved. COVID is ending. And then
all right, so the next weekend rolls in. And it makes like 22 million.
Right.
So everyone's like, the hell? It actually set a record as most drop off from weekend to weekend.
Right. For any Marvel movie.
Which is really ridiculous. It's like, I've never heard of something. Let me put it this way. It lost to Space Jam. Yeah. It's bad when Space Jam makes more money than a Marvel movie.
Right. Right.
Now, how does this relate to the Scarlette Johansson lawsuit? So she's suing Disney because she claims that the simultaneous release on Disney Plus and through and in the movie theaters is a violation of her contract. Mm-hmm. But Disney, as this article from Deadline says, fires back saying that she actually made $20 million. So the Walt Disney Corporation has fired back at Scarlette Johansson's lawsuit over the release of Black Widow in a biting statement in which it said that the litigation showed a callous disregard to the COVID-19 pandemic and even revealed that she has so far received $20 million from the project. The Disney spokesperson said there's no merit whatsoever to this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. What I think is really callous of Disney is they're trying to hide behind the COVID-19 virus in order to escape culpability from this, because they refuse to admit that their strategy of releasing the same day on streaming is a bad idea and may have screwed everyone. In fact, the movie theater people are really pissed at Disney because of what they did.
Right. I mean, she originally was talking about she filed a lawsuit because she, like you said, she said the Disney Plus earnings hurt the theatrical earnings, which she actually gets a cut of, and she was saying something like that, this is problematic, this hurt, because a lot of theaters were saying that the theatrical release was hurt by the Disney Plus streaming also. And so Disney's saying that she already got a 20 million payday and that she shouldn't be basically complaining or anything like that.
But here's the thing. There's a sweet Black Rifle Coffee ad.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, but here's where Disney is wrong. So what if she makes if she made a lot of money from this movie? If it's part of her contract, you still have to abide by the contract. That's why I think it's really interesting. This is not Black Rifle, because Disney is basically saying, okay, so be happy you got anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, hello, you made a viable contract with ScarJo, in which you're apparently the way it works is that she actually gets paid less for you get paid less if your stuff is put on streaming. So, but she was supposed to have her movies released in theaters only. So I'm like, what is going on here? Go ahead, Len.
So I mean, it's kind of it's kind of interesting that she was saying that Disney Plus, put it on Disney Plus definitely helps the company earn some more money, or they're trying to protect themselves, but that it hurts the theatrical release and that it hurts what money she's supposed to make because she gets more of a cut from theatrical. And I think the whole streaming thing isn't really worked out in her terms and agreements as properly. And she actually says that that's taking a cut that's hurting her. And she was actually in her contract that it was only supposed to be a theatrical release.
Yeah. So
So
I'm like, it doesn't matter. In fact, there's a statement here by Johansson's attorney that said, in short, that the message to and from Disney's top management was clear: increase Disney Plus subscribers, never mind your contractual promises. So I'm like, this is dumb, Disney, which it doesn't surprise me, by the way, because Disney is known for making all these contractual like violations.
That's kind of interesting that this didn't come up beforehand, that it was only like they waited until the movie came out, or even waited for it when it became unsuccessful for them to actually be saying anything, like, that they waited this long. It's kind of interesting that all this
plus here's the problem with the way that they release it. So, and here's why the movie probably lost a lot, and this was analyzed by like a couple of articles I read. It's because when you release it on like a streaming service, you still have the ability to record your screen with audio. So you can pretty much pirate the movie, which if you pirate the movie and just put it on to like the internet for free, what does that lead to? A decrease in revenue, because everyone felt like, why am I going to go to the movie theater on Disney Plus to watch it? I'm like, come on, guys, this is really simple. It's not like with the Snyder Cut where that was the only thing he was going to get, and he wasn't even taking a paycheck for that movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And then I loved Disney's response. So like, you should be happy you're getting anything.
I think it's kind of funny how they said that it's like a callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects.
Yeah, they're hiding behind COVID.
Oh, come on, this is like
they're saying, stay away from me, COVID.
It's like they're like a really $1 billion, billions of dollars they're getting in different stuff, and they're like, you gotta pay your actors the proper amount. If it wasn't in the contract, then it probably should have, reworked the contract to allow for the streaming stuff, like Warner Brothers did.
Yeah, Warner Brothers told Snyder, okay, so we'll let you put it on HBO Max. Are you okay with that? He's like, yeah. And Snyder has routinely said, if my stuff is only on HBO Max, that's fine. In fact, he said, if they said, we'll let you have your universe, like all of your movies, including the Ben Affleck Batman movie and all that stuff, except put it only on Disney Plus, on HBO Max, that's fine. He said it was fine because that's part of his contract. But if it's not part of your contract, it doesn't matter what happens. You still have to abide by your contract, Disney.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of interesting now. We when the news first broke, we hadn't heard anything from Disney, and now we get to see that they said that, COVID, we gotta all do our part in COVID, and then that they kind of said that there's no merit in this filing, and that she already got $20 million for her work. Okay, but that's normal, right? And then they supposedly the release on Black Widow on Disney Plus enhances her ability to earn additional compensation on top of it. But Disney did not provide any information about whether or not Johnson's pact was renegotiated so that she could share in the streaming revenue.
So she doesn't even get paid from the streaming stuff.
Yeah, she maybe much less than what she.
That is an a-hole move, Disney. So I just love how Disney is saying COVID. COVID. They're trying to hide behind COVID, but that is ridiculous.
That's kind of sad. I mean, I know $20 million is a lot of money, but look, she's an A-list actor.
No, but it's not about that. It's about Disney made a contract and they're not abiding by said contract.
Yeah,
if they're not abiding by the contract, absolutely sue them.
Right. I mean, they definitely are using Black Widow to promote Disney Plus. Some of their other movies.
The problem was, I think it was Bob Iger. The whole day and day release thing, that was his baby, his initiative, and it actually keeps failing.
I think I'm not sure. Yeah, it may have been Bob Iger originally. I know now that it's here we go. That it
was one of the two Bobs. Yeah, it was Iger.
Bob. Oh, and also I think right now it's Bob Chapek.
Yeah. It's Chapek. Yeah.
Chapek. Yeah.
No. Yeah, but the point is that I love it. Is that this is hilarious. And then when Warner Brothers thought it was an issue, guess what they said? Not.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some movies that are being released day in day out, but they can't do that anymore.
I know. It's interesting that they're using this. I mean, okay, you're gonna use Black Widow to promote the streaming service. All right. But then they really need to renegotiate the terms to make sure everyone's okay with it, that they get their proper pay. Because getting the streaming, you may not get the same amount of revenue that is theatrical.
Exactly.
And, she already filmed this movie probably over 2 years ago, and it was supposed to come out a year and a half ago. So she's still, I mean, I bet she already got paid, but she's still waiting for the box office money.
Yeah. Which I'm like, come on, guys.
It's a bit not cool. And I think once we look over the whole bigger picture, we kind of think about this is like a pretty big fallout for,
Black Widow. Yeah, this is not going to look good for Igor or Chapek.
And Scarlett Johansson also. I mean, if luckily this she is already like dead, but like I think she may like be actually.
I think what happens is that since she's dead, she feels free to like sue anyone because she's not dependent upon them for a job. That's like, I'm done with you people.
That's kind of intense. That like the fact that she would like it makes such a big deal about it.
I didn't expect the lawsuit.
Yeah,
I really did not.
Do you think that means that she tried to renegotiate and they wouldn't?
I think that means that that'll come out soon.
That kind of like she didn't, that they argued or something over that, or maybe
maybe it was a source of contention and everything, and since that it could be that when Black Widow came out that first weekend, she tried to like get her fair share of the compensation from the streaming, and they wouldn't do it, so she said, you know what, I'm just gonna sue.
That's interesting. It's kind of interesting because I wonder, like, I mean, I guess companies and stuff, they people, they get sued all the time. It may not necessarily be like bad blood between Scarlett Johansson. It may not become personal between them, but either way, we're probably not seeing Black Widow again, and maybe this could hurt our chances of it.
Well, we already knew that. Only this way, they gave no indication of whether or not she was going to come back to life. So most likely, it's just going to be Yelena.
Yeah. So this is kind of interesting news, and kind of makes you wonder, like, what other consequences could come from this. Just what other fallout can show up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering what's going to happen here. I'm going to make a prediction, and I think that we could be seeing either the end of day-and-day release, or they'll actually do it, because this is putting too much negative attention on Disney, and Disney hates and negative attention.
Yeah, this is really bad because they really try to make Disney Plus look good, and this is
making it look bad.
This is making it look bad. So right now, Black Widow's like really slowing down on the box office, and they made about 320 million, and they haven't said anything else.
This could further hurt Black Widow stream numbers, because then people could say, oh, if they're not even paying her that much, why am I supporting this movie?
Yeah, this is kind of intense. And so I'm actually gonna look it up now, that the Jungle Cruise, this movie is coming out on Disney Plus, I believe tomorrow. It's releasing simultaneous release, Disney Plus and theatrical tomorrow. And I kind of wonder if this is going to have any effect on that. Like, is The Rock going to sue Disney now or something? And
we'll see what happens. Most likely he made that deal. He already negotiated it, because I think that Disney does not want to piss off Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But supposedly Disney, says that Jungle Cruise is going to be the last split streaming and theatrical release.
Good luck with that. I sincerely doubt that.
So let's hope that this is the last time we see it, and we just have no more of these.
Yeah, because I don't want that, really.
Yeah.
I don't want it. It's a stupid decision, particularly if you're trying to somehow preach to us and say, protect the movie theaters. You're not doing them any favors.
Yeah, the movie, and because we could even have a whole other episode talking about how the movie theaters were like, industry was putting Disney on blast for saying they're actually hurting like all the local theaters
on TV. Yeah,
like whatever, like theater union or whatever they were saying that Disney is really hurting us, us businesses, by trying to do the streaming, which I know they're trying to like supposedly help people by keeping people away from the COVID, and they are also giving people a second option, but it's still hurting the theatrical, which is waiting for a big blockbuster.
They only put it this way: if they had done it where it was just in the theaters, they would have seen. I think they would have seen the normal Marvel numbers, even with COVID and everything. Because Black Widow was still a good movie, except for Taskmaster. But I've already ranted about that. I'm not going into a further rant about that. The point is that it was still a good quality MCU movie. I at least enjoyed it. I know some people didn't, but I enjoyed it. It would have made the proper amount of money if they hadn't done this.
Yeah.
But now it looks like it's going to hurt Black Widow even more. The first really good female Marvel movie, because the first one was Captain Marvel, and that did not exactly set the bar very high.
Yeah.
Anyway, lad, what do you think?
No, I think that's pretty much all I was thinking about on that end.
Same here.
I think we'll just have to see how the story develops. Like, see if This is kind of interesting. It's interesting news, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a very interesting thing to check to follow in the next couple of days. We'll keep you updated on the news channel. Well, she just provided me more content for the news show.
I guess so.
Thank you, ScarJo. All right, guys, that's going to be it for us for tonight, and then we will see you probably tomorrow or this weekend for Under Two Capes, which we're going to talk about the most wasted MCU villains.
Yeah.
Hint: one of them starts with Ultron.
Yep.
All right, guys, stay heroic. See you around. McClunky.